Hey folks, Levi here once again. Welcome back to another review, another superhero review. Hope you enjoy my rant slash review on the New Mutants, which I thought sucked. Anyway, guys, remember this is I'm just wearing my YouTube shirt again. Levi McNally 983. Um, remember it's the mask profile picture. You can check out videos on my other channel with the Batman Mask of the Phantasm profile picture. But if you want to continue to see me do more reviews and hear more videos, and I'm gonna in the future definitely do more different kind of videos. I would love to do that. I like doing different kind of videos on my YouTube channel. And I'm gonna do. I did on my other channel. I'm gonna do it on this channel as well. So I just like doing that. But like when we got into 2025, I did a Happy New Year video. Like I do different kind of videos, snack videos, probably someday. Again, when this channel grows a little more. Thank you for the 266 subs, guys. I'm gonna keep on going. I'm not quitting YouTube. Uh, you know, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content and the videos. If you want more content, more reviews to see from me, stick on this with the mask profile picture. And feel free to share my channel with your friends, family, people you know at work. Just mention me. That'd be cool. I would appreciate that. It's being supportive, you know, being very supportive of other people's channels as well. And I support people's other channels as well. And I even try to tell people to check out, hey, this person's channel, just to give them a shout out, just to help support their channel as well. But anyway, guys, if if you look at my community post, if you click on the little bell, it's probably somewhere down here in this video somewhere. If you click the bell, when you subscribe to me, you click the bell, get all personalized. That means you'll be able to see reviews I upload when it uploads. It'll tell you when I upload my next video, or when I do a community post of what the next video, the next review, whatever that video could be, which one is next. You know. So if you missed this review or any other reviews, you'll see like, oh, he's doing this next review. It's all in the community post. Or if I give you like life updates on there too. If I don't do like a vlog video or life update videos or whatever you want to call it, our day videos on the channel. But anyway, like I said, guys, I've been doing a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel. And what I've been doing, I'm sorry, the video's a little clary here, I'm sorry, is a superhero marathon. What I've been doing, I've been called the 2020s era superhero movies. These are superhero movies that have been coming out in this decade, 2020 to 2025. Yeah, and this is the last movie. Sorry, and I've been on the year 2020, and this is the last movie of the year 2020. Yes, and this film is it's of course 2020 superhero film based on the character Wonder Woman. It is a sequel to the 2017 film Wonder Woman starring Gal Gadot. She was prior to her role as Wonder Woman here. Chris Pine comes back. You have Pedro Pascal coming back, and Kristen Wiig and Robin Wright and Connie Nelson coming back as well. But you have Kristen Wiig and who's after Kristen Wiig? Damn it, uh, Pedro Pascal. But I'll mention those characters later. It is the ninth film in the DCU, the DC Extended Universe, the ninth film. And like I said, it stars Gal Gadot, and that is the sequel, 2020 sequel, Wonder Woman 1984. I know people are mixed on this movie. I like this film. Do I completely love it? No, but I do enjoy it. But this film definitely has issues, in my opinion. I have my problems with it. I do think it could have been a little better, but I still enjoy it. I get enjoyment out of it. I still love Gal Gadot. I love that cool suit she wears at the end. The golden armor that she wears at the end of it's just pretty cool. Yeah, but this movie definitely has problems, in my opinion. It does remind me of like Superman 3. Some people are mixed on it, and I could understand why. This film, I think, even today, is a mixed bag with people. I will say it is not as good as Wonder Woman 2017. That film is a lot better story wise. This film, I think, could have used some more, but I'll get to that why later. We'll just get into the review how it came to be, okay? And I'm sure it came to be because the first Wonder Woman was successful, so that's why. Yeah, the first one, that was a huge hit, surprise of a movie. One of the best female superhero movies out there, in my opinion. Because it made on its well, the first one had a $104 million budget and it made $824 million worldwide. So regardless if it wasn't Avengers successful, it was still successful. The first Wonder Woman movie was. Yeah. So for the production is that the director of the first film, Patty Jenkins, she does come back to direct this sequel, of course. She has signed up for only one film. Let's Precision returned to direct the sequel. June 2017, during an interview with Verity, combat writer Geoff Jones revealed that he and Jenkins had stated that writing the treatment of a Wonder Woman sequel, they had a cool idea for the second one. While speaking in a Q&A at Women in Film, screening of the film, Jenkins said that she would indirectly direct the sequel. Jenkins later clarified that it wasn't a confirmation, just talking about ideas and hopes. On July 22, 2017, San Diego Comic Con, the studio officially announced a sequel reproducing Jenkins' return as director, titled as Wonder Woman 2. In September 2017, it was confirmed that Jenkins would be directing the sequel. June 13, 2017, before that, The Expendables writer David Callahan would join the film co-write with Jenkins and Johns, who had already been working it for several months. February 28th, 2018, just not Valentine's Day, it's February 14th anyway. It was reported that the film will be shot with IMAX film cameras and select action sequences by late May 2018. Zack Snyder, confirmed social media about the movie that him and his wife, Deborah Snyder, would be producing the film. Zack Snyder started with this franchise with Man of Steel, of course, with several producers on the Wonder Woman sequel. On June 2013, the title of the film was announced to be Wonder Woman 1984. Plus, Jenkins described it as a standalone film in the same way that Indiana Jones James Bond films are. Pre-production officially began by early December 2017 in the UK. Same month, director Patty Jenkins stated that the film would be another great love story. In April 2018, the film was confirmed to be set in the 1980s. It was announced as returning for the sequel as Lindy Hemming, as returning as a costume designer casting. Gal Gadot was confirmed returning, of course, as the character. There's part of that Kristen Wiig was in talks to play Cheetah. Yeah. Cheetah is a major adversary of Wonder Woman, one of her enemies in the comics. Her abilities include like skilled. Well, from the comics, I heard that with a biography of her, Priscilla Rich is the name, and then you have Deborah. Well, in this movie, it's Barbara Minery. She's the third Cheetah in the comics. She's an archaeologist. There's to a fast fortune. She found this expedition to find a tribe in Africa, which allows it to be protected by a female guardian with the powers of a cheetah. She agrees to become the tribe's new guardian. She gains her power after killing herself with a cursed dagger and being possessed by the goddess of the hunt. Well, they don't do that in this movie. But I guess those are the different versions of the character, like I mentioned. Yeah. There's Deborah Domain. And yeah, Brazil. I didn't know that. But, with in this character, she plays Barbara Bernal, the main villain of the film. Which, by the way, spoiler, there'll be spoilers in this review. She's not. By March 2019, Pedro Pascal, who played Ed Frodo in the pilot of the canceled Wonder Woman TV series adaptation, was cast. Oh, Adrian Apella was going to be in that. From what I heard, that got canceled. He was cast to play Maxwell Lord. He's a shrewd and powerful businessman who allies with the Justice League. I just felt like I've heard that name before. Was he? Was he the Supergirl TV series? This character? Sorry, maybe it's just a different Maxwell. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's in the first season of Supergirl, played by Peter Finch. Okay. He also appears in the ninth season of Smallville. Okay. Yeah. On June 13th, Jenkins confirmed that Return of Chris Pine was come back as Steve Trevor. Natasha Romanoff was announced to be cast in a exclusive role. The film got shot a little bit in Spain. Under the working title Mega Hour, locations were in Columbia, North Virginia, and in the U.S. Alexandria, Virginia, Landmark Hall, and Georgetown. Scenes were shot in Alexandria from June 18th to July. Filming occurred outside the U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C., which the film does take place a bit in Washington, D.C. as well. St. Andrew's Place, I'm just reading a bit. Production went back to England in October, shooting at the Imperial War Museum in Duxford, Hyde Park, in central London. Richard Purse served as the editor for the film. For the music score, you have Hans Zimmer coming to was announced as music score, replacing Robert, who did the first film. Hans Zimmer, of course, he did score the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, yeah. He scored The Lion King, the original, Gladiator, The Last Samurai, Pirates of the Caribbean series, and also Man of Steel and the Dark Knight trilogy. No Time to Die and Inception. The film has about 18 tracks for the marketing. I think Gal Gadot did like a 18 commercial. I don't remember much marketing. I do remember the trailer. This movie was set to be released in June 5th, I think, a summer release. But around the time they were making the movie, COVID-19 happened, and due to that, they had to cancel that. They were supposed to on June 5th for the movie. A year ahead of the film was going to schedule a release date. Yeah, but period of time during the COVID, the film was delayed to August 14th. Then it got delayed again, I think, released October 2nd. Then it got delayed further to the Christmas date, so it did come out on December 25th. He said COVID affected the movie a little bit. I don't know if there was reshoots done with the movie because apparently they had to cancel the production, and because of COVID happened, because 2020 happened, they had to cancel the movie. I mean, not cancel the movie, just cancel the production. It did get released on IMAX, I think. I don't know if the film was in and out of theaters. I don't really remember. Yeah, they did open on HBO Max. I didn't watch it on there. I just bought the movie when it came out here on Blu-ray. Yeah, I got the movie on 4K Blu-ray, and you do have a few special features, a little bit like seeing the mall in the open. You got the making of the movie, expanding the wonders small but mighty. Meet the Amazons. You have a gag reel, and killing Kristen, friends forever. So you do have special features on the Blu-ray. I don't have 4K, but the movie's also on 4K. If you have a 4K player, you know the movie will work on that. I'm sure. Some called it a lukewarm reception. The movie does, like I said, get mixed. Some people do think it's overloaded with its plot and plot threads, as they would call it. Yeah, yeah, I know it's controversial where Stephen inhabits the body of another man, and that him and Diana have sex. It was aimed at the film's like acknowledgement of what happened to the man while Steve was inhabiting his body. If Steve come back, but in another man was not the intention. Well, Mary Sue, the Mary Sue described the event as rape. Jenkins replied in agreement to a fan tweet that just had no issues with the plot aspect. The film was falling through a body swap, similar to Big or Freaky Friday. I don't think it was rape, but that's just me. I think that's a little stupid thing to fight over. I know people arguing with that, but anyway, I'll get in that later. There was gonna be a sequel, but they got canceled. Yeah, says there's gonna be a spinoff. Just reading, but of course I know James Gunn's gonna take over now. But I'm hoping he keeps Gal as Wonder Woman. Anyway, the cast the movie of Gal Gadot as Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, and then Immortal Demigods, Amazon Princess and Warrior, the Amazon Queen. Her mother's the Amazon Queen of Themyscira, and Zeus her father, the King of Olympus gods. Gal Gadot, my first time seeing her in a movie was Fast and Furious 4. Fast 4. She was in Fast 5 and Fast 6 as well. Furious 7. Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. The first time was as Wonder Woman. 2017 film Justice League. And of course, that's not Justice League that will come out a year after this. She came back as Fast 10, but in a credit appearance. Okay. In a post-credit scene, wow. Even though her character died like in Fast 6. Coming back as Giselle. She had a cameo in Shazam and The Flash, even though it's uncredited. She does have a cameo in those movies. The last movie she did was Snow White, which I don't really care to see. You have Chris Pine come back, Steve Trevor. They would get World War One pilot, and Tobias and Diana's lover, who died in the first film. Diana only sees him as Trevor. Yeah. Chris Pine, of course, he did play in the Star Trek reboot as Captain Kirk, and not a big one him. I didn't care for Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. I'm not a fan of him as an actor, but that's just me. But Kristen Wiig as Barbara Beno, Cheetah, a highly insecure geologist and gemologist who is befriended by Diana. She rarely transforms throughout the film by use of the Stream Stone, which I get to like. Kristen Wiig, beautiful woman, very beautiful woman. You know. Oh yeah, she Ghostbusters 2016 remake. Yeah, that's I rather watch this than the Ghostbusters 2016 remake. She was in The Martian 2015. She was good in that. I've never seen. I heard it was good, but Bridesmaid. She was in that. Despicable Me, the first one, did voice work for that. It's been quite a few movies. Despicable Me movies. Yeah. Pedro Velasquez, Maxwell Lord, a struggling yet charismatic businessman, famous for TV and commercials, and the founder of Black Gold Cooperative. Pedro, let's see. I know he was in Game of Thrones. He was in Kingdom of the Gold Silver. I remember him in that, playing the villain in that. Let's see. He was in The Mandalorian. Yes, I love The Mandalorian. I've been watching that. Well, I've been watching that lately, but in the last of us TV series. Yeah. Says he was in Gladiator 2, but I heard Gladiator 2 wasn't too good. Robin Wright comes back, and I hope Habitat's sister and Diana's aunt. She dies in the first movie, but she doesn't have a big part. But I remember, people probably remember her from like The Princess Bride. I remember her as Jenny and Forrest Gump and Toys with Robin Williams, and she was also in Blade Runner 2049. That also came out in 2017. Connie Nielsen as Sifted, the Queen of Themyscira. Connie Nielsen was in like Mission to Mars, Soldier. She was in 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams. The Hunted, I remember her in that with Tommy Lee Jones and Benedict Del Toro. Yeah, and the first one, I think she also did a TV series called The Following with Kevin Bacon. Also appeared in the film, Wicked, as Imara. I'm just reading. Linda Carter, who played the title hero Wonder Woman in the 1970s TV series, makes a cameo appearance as Astria, a legendary Amazon warrior who wore the powerful wingsuit of armor that Diana wears at the climax of the movie. Yeah. So anyway, the film was directed by Patty Jenkins. Again, like I said, directed the first one. She directed Monster from 2003. I'm not a big Charlize Theron fan, and Christina Ricci. I'm a big Christina Ricci fan, you know. But Monster was good. That was based on the serial killer Eileen Warner, and that movie was pretty good. Uh, I think she also wrote the script for the movie too. But this movie, Wonder Woman, I think she did a good job directing Wonder Woman, the first one. And she directed a movie called Pool Man, which I've never seen. She also wrote the script. So did Jeff Jones, who's worked on some of the other DC stuff. I think anime movies where he worked on. He was assistant to Richard Donner on Lethal Weapon 4, Green Lantern, Emerald Knights. He wrote that Green Lantern 2011 film, Just League the Legend of Paradise, Batman v Superman. Suicide Squad 2016, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman 1984, Black Adam, Shazam. After Wonder Woman 1984, he worked on Black Adam, Shazam for the Gods, and The Flash. I'd rather watch this over The Flash. Yeah, I promise you that'll be a rant coming up when we get to the year, when we get to 2023. Dave Cullum, he's best known for co-writing like the films like the first Expendables movie working with Stallone because Stallone directed that movie and he wrote that movie with Stallone. He also worked on a Marvel film, MCU film, Shang-Chi Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, and Zombieland, Double Tap, Expendables 4, which I really don't care to see, and our future Hercules movie is going to be in 2027, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. He's writing the script for that as well. Our already has. In the first Ant-Man movie, he was a production rewrite. He did rewrites on that movie for the first Ant-Man movie. Stories by Patty Jenkins and Jeff Jones. Produced by Charles Roven. Produced films like Man in the USA, Cadillac Man with Robin Williams, 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis, Scooby-Doo, the 2002 live-action film Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed, Kicking and Screaming, The Bank Job, The Dark Knight, 2008 Man of Steel, The Dark Knight Rises and Man of Steel, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, Justice League, 2017, This movie, that's not Justice League and Suicide Squad. Deborah Snyder, let's see. She's also worked on 300 and Watchmen with her husband, Zack Snyder, and Sucker Punch Man of Steel, 300 Rise of Empire, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman Justice League, and when she produces in this movie, that's not Justice League and the Suicide Squad. And that was the last movie she worked on. Zack Snyder, he's best known for directing movies like Dawn of the Dead, Remake, 300. I love Watchmen. That's probably my favorite superhero movie ever did. Don't care to see Sucker Punch. I love Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Disappointed Justice League. Don't care for those two movies. That's not Justice League. Yeah, that was the last one. And it was also produced by Brad Jenkins and Gail Gadot as well as a producer on this film. So was Stephen Jones. Cinematography by Matthew Jensen, who's done cinematography for like Chronicle and Fantastic 2015 and Wonder Woman 2017. And a movie called Pool Man, edited by Richard Pearson, who edited Muppets from Space, Scary Movie 2, Men in Black 2, The Rundown, Rent, Blades of Glory, Get Smart, Iron Man 2, Red Dawn, the remake, Constable Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Wonder Woman 1984, Uncharted, the movie, starring Tom Holland. Music's by Hans Zimmer. I mentioned like he did score for the Dark Knight trilogy, Man of Steel, and The Lion King, the original. I think he did the score for the animated film, the DreamWorks animated film, The Road to El Dorado. I think he did the score for that movie. I could be wrong, but I don't have time to look it up right now. Production company is Warner Brothers Pictures, DC Films, Alice Entertainment. The film recording is distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures. It released December 2015, 2020. Remember, it was supposed to be released in June, but due to COVID-19, it got so many delays that it did eventually get released on December 25th. It's about 151 minutes long. The film is about 2 hours and 31 minutes long. Yes, I'm not kidding. It is. Budget was $200 million. Box office made $169.6 million worldwide. The film received mixed reviews from critics. You know, it failed to break even in part due to the release on HBO Max. It did become the top streaming though, streaming film of 2020. I haven't seen the face off of Amazon, so I'm not really interested in that. Yeah, but the film did not. I would say it's a complete box office flop. Well, I would say yeah, didn't do very well at the box office. Very much, really underperformed. Yeah, $200 million. The budget was $200 million, made only $169.6 million. Yeah, I would say it's a flop. Do I think it really deserved a flop? No, but again, it's because of COVID and our people just didn't like the movie. But I do think because of COVID and being released on HBO Max, it got so many delays so many times. Yeah. Or maybe some people were just mixed on it and didn't care to see it. That could have happened too. I'm sorry if the I don't know why the quality's acting up. Anyway, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you've never seen Wonder Woman 1984, turn the review off right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and oh, don't need that right now. But anyway, but I'm going to give you the plot synopsis. Now I said this would be spoiler review, so the plot synopsis though is that Diana Prince, played by Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, she's living quietly among the mortals in the late 1980s. Like she's living in Washington D.C. She has an air of success driven by the pursuit of having it all. Though she's come into her full powers, she maintains a low profile by threading ancient artifacts and only performing heroic acts or saving people when she needs to or when there's dangers happen. But soon Diana would have to muster all of her strength, wisdom, and courage as she finds herself squaring off against Maxwell Lord. You know, there's not a picture of him on here, but Maxwell Lord, who's a businessman tycoon, owns his own business, does a TV infomercials, who there's this thing called this Dreamstone. And when you wish for the Dreamstone, when you make a wish, it comes true. Maxwell Lord, he wishes for the Dreamstone. He wishes to become the Dreamstone, and it works. And he could maybe, destroy the world with it. So Wonder Woman has to stop him, and also while dealing with Barbara Mineral, this woman she meets that admires her. Eventually, she makes a wish to become stronger. She eventually, played by Kristen Wiig, she becomes the Cheetah, a villainess who possesses superhuman strength and agility. And meanwhile, she also wishes for Chris Pine to come back. Chris Pine comes back because she wishes for him. And the whole message of the movie is basically be careful what you wish for. Now, I was going to mention other, yeah, I mean, there are films that have other wishes as well, like Wish from 2017, You Wish, which is a 2003 um, Disney Channel movie. 16 Wishes, I think I've seen that one time at least. Bedazzled, where Brendan Fraser's making those wishes. Yeah, Big, when Tom Hanks' character wishes to be big. Yeah. So it's not the only movie you ever see that people make wishes. I'm like, yeah, there's been quite a few of them over the years. Yeah, and so Wonder Woman has to stop them and eventually overcome her own desires as well, and her wish is to be with Steve, but she has to overcome a lot of stuff in this movie, overcome that in this movie. But I said I like this movie, and I do enjoy it. I completely love it. No, it is a movie that does have plot holes. I would say plot threads. It's kind of a mess of a movie. There are problems in the movie, but I still, despite that, I do find it entertaining. That's just me. But I'm not gonna sit here and say this movie's perfect. No, it is not. It definitely has this quite a bit of problems. It's not a masterpiece of a movie. It could have been a lot better. Again, I don't blame them on COVID. COVID just happened. And I see why they canceled the movie because a lot of people were getting sick at the time. They had a good reason for doing it. But it's a shame that we won't get another Wonder Woman movie. But like I said, this film did not do well at the box office. So I'm going to talk about the movie itself, then give you my final thoughts and opinion on the film, and my final thoughts and what I think of the movie as a whole, in my opinion. This is not a rant. I don't hate this movie. If you do, that's fine. I'm not here to change your opinion, your thoughts on the film. You think what you want to think about the movie. I can't stop you. I can't tell you what you can think. Okay? I mean, we all have different points of opinion, different points of views. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got it. Everyone has one. So, you're welcome to have your different points of opinion. You don't have to agree with me. Don't ever think you have to agree with me. There is no law that says you have to agree with me, okay? Here it's about freedom of speech and freedom of opinion on this channel. Yeah. There is no right or wrong BS, here. Anyway, pretty much the movie, I do like how it starts out. I love the cinematography. We do open up on Themyscira. You see a young Diana Prince taking part in it's an athletic contest. It's kind of like Special Olympics or something for them. And Diana gets ready. She runs all the way over there. And she's like, what, maybe 12, 13-year-old little girl. And Robin Wright and her mother are impressed. They're like, are you ready, Diana? Yes, I am ready for this. And she runs, like, goes through these obstacles, which are really cool little shot. She goes through these obstacles a little bit, which I thought was pretty neat, to be honest. Um, they go through the obstacles. She's able to, Diana's able to beat in the race. She jumps on a horse. They had to shoot a couple of these arrows in like this spot. Kind of like if you're watching medieval times when they would have to put something in an arrow or whatever you would call it. I don't know. Anyway, but it's pretty cool. She makes some cool shots, but she falls off the horse and she cheats. She starts to cheat. She goes a different way, and you have to shoot this arrow at the big sign. She's about to shoot the arrow, but Robin Wright like stops. She's like, "No, don't stop me." He's like, "Diana, you were cheating. That's wrong. Warriors don't cheat by winning. That's wrong. You took a different path. You cheated in the race, and that's not fair." And they teach you important truths. Basically that the Golden Warrior has as a role model to look up to. Be like that. Don't cheat. It's just wrong. The truth is, it's cheating. The truth is, you were cheating, and it's wrong. Yeah. And then after the film opens up in 1984, it's after World War II, and you say, after Diana helped the Justice League and stuff, she's, living day to day. She's helping people. You have people in the 1980s. This guy tries to drive like really fast. These two teenagers drive real fast. They almost hit this girl. Someone's like, jogging. They nearly run over. Wonder Woman hits the car, which is cool. Uh, these little girls are like teenagers are going crazy, like playing basketball, whatever. They knock into this one lady. They're getting, her husband are getting married. They're taking pictures. She nearly falls and gets hurt. But Wonder Woman uses her lasso of truth, the lasso to grab her, and she does all in secret, which I like. And eventually, you have these guys who rob the malls, like, "We're robbing you. We're robbing you." You know. And one of the guys, doesn't want to go to jail. So he grabs a child. He's like, "I'm gonna kill this child. I'm gonna kill this child." He's gonna throw over the edge. at the mall, and another even the guy is like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he gets to the truck. Wonder Woman comes by, grabs Shaw, saves her, knocks the guy out with a lasso, and they said, he's like, "I don't like guns," you know, and the guy like runs from Wonder Woman. She eventually like catches him, knocks him down, catches him up. Well, before I get to that, no, she fights with these guys, knocks them down pretty easily, tries to shoot her, but she grabs the gun, throws the weapon, knocks them out, and they almost hurt this little girl, but she grabs the little girl before they start shooting or anything like that. Just around, slides the little girl down, and it does have a cheesy, campy sense of humor with the little girl, like you know, she does this Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman picks up the guy like this, and it's like, and she also uses her bracelet on her head, the bracelet on her head, to hit the cameras off, and she saves the day, ties the bad guys up. It was a pretty entertaining scene. Goes back home, people talk about her, and you see her pictures of Chris Pine, how much she misses him, and you find that Diana's lonely, that she can't go back to Themyscira. Her her boyfriend, her lover, basically died. Chris Pine, love of her life, died. So Diana's depressed. You know, Diana works at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History with these antiques, and there you meet Dr. Barbara Minerva, played by Kristen Wiig, and I swear she reminds me of Jim Carrey a little bit from The Mask. She's got the glasses on, and they're trying to make him, and she's an attractive woman. I like Kristen Wiig as an actress, but in here, I just didn't like what they did with the character. She's pretty much underused. Like I said, she's basically just a ripoff of Jim Carrey, and it's not the only movie that's done it. The Incredibles did it with Syndrome. Uh, Iron Man 3 did it. Amazing Spider-Man 2 did it as well. Where, but when she meets Diane, she's just walking and falling on the hills, drops some papers, and she's like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" Down to her, they don't even help her. I'm like, "Jerks! Wow, won't even help a lady out." That was mean. But Diana is nice to her. Diana, she meets Diana. She's like, "Well, we should have lunch later." I mean, after work because it's the morning time. They talk, they get along. But she's there to. They turn to her to. She's an insecure woman though, but they want her to identify the artifacts involved. And she discovers the Dreamstone. You know, and they said, because some guy says, "I wish I can have coffee," and but he gives the coffee, and Diana looks at. She doesn't say it, but it's just in her mind. She just wishes for Steve to come back in her mind. It works a little later on though, and Barbara also wishes to be like, well, not yet. You know, at first, yeah, they go to lunch, they talk about their lives. You know, she's like, "Oh, I was the one something like, don't, God, I envy you. You seem like you have a good life. You're a sweet person. You seem like you got like going for yourself." And Diana's like, "Well, my life's not perfect because Diana's sad and depressed. She doesn't consider herself perfect. Like Barbara sees her. Barbara's like, people talk about me, but I just know. Like I said, she's just a rip off of Jim Carrey. Like it's like because Batman Forever, Edward, Enigma, Myers and envies Bruce Wayne. Just tell me when he comes to Riddler, gets the box and the box where he dresses as like Bruce Wayne, puts glasses on like him, kind of acts like him a little bit, like he could dress in nearly the same suit as him, or the Amazing Spider-Man 2 where he admires Spidey, you know, too much, or when the Incredibles, you know, where Buddy Syndrome like admires him at first, or in Iron Man 3 where he admires Tony, look envies Tony, and then when they feel like they've been rejected by friendship or whatever, they turn to a villain. That's what she just reminded me of the glasses and making her awkward. I'm like, yes, I've seen these characters be awkward before. It's nothing new. But they talk, and after lunch, you meet Max Lord. He's a failing businessman. He does these TV infomercials like he's like, "Oh, look, you," or something like that. I don't remember what he says, but played by Pedro Velasquez, good actor. Um, but he has a son. You have a guy named Simon Stagg. I think, yeah, I remember that character in some like Justice League anime series, and also in Simon Stagg, yeah, in Batman Arkham Knight when he was working with the Scarecrow. as Batman finds out in Batman Arkham Knight, helping him build a cloudburst that has his fear gas in it. Anyway, I'm not getting into Batman Arkham Knight. But anyway, we're in a Wonder Woman movie, so Wonder Woman, yeah. But Maxwell comes over to meet Barbara, and he's actually you find out that his business is failing. He has his son. I forget the son's name, but sweet little boy, good little actor as well. Um, he did a good job, and he gets yelled at and said, like, "Your dad's a loser. Don't listen to what that man says. Your dad's gonna be better someday." And you feel bad for him, that Maxwell just wants to do well for his son, but he wants power. He wants all of it. He just wants more and more, and he's looking for the Dreamstone. He talks to Barbara about it. He goes to it. He says, "What's that?" So, "Oh, don't look at my office as a mess." And he sees it. Definitely wants that, but he gets right. He meets Gal Gadot. He meets Wonder. I mean Diana. But Diana's kind of seems to be it's when he's acting over the top where he's like it's just Gal Gadot's face is like annoyed by him. When she first meets him, yeah. And he offers his donation a bit of money to the Smithsonian as well. And basically, we open up with a gala because she has the stone and she wishes to be like her. So she wakes up in the morning. This guy almost drops coffee on, not coffee, but a bucket of water on her. Well, a mop bucket on her. And he's like, "Oops, I'm sorry." He's like, "Very nice shoes." And all the men are giving her attention like they have before, like, "Oh, you're beautiful." And it's like her body's become a little stronger and changing. You even have a scene where she goes to work out, you know, and she looks beautiful, by the way. She picks up like all these weights, has like maybe 7 weights on each of the bells or whatever. She like picks the whole thing up, and all the men are like, "Wow." And she buys this black dress, but she looks gorgeous. And I don't know why this movie was like, why are you trying to make, Kristen Wiig is a very beautiful woman. Why are you trying to make her look ugly for her? She's not. They're trying to make her nerdy and geeky, and I'm like, it doesn't work. She's just a gorgeous woman, just as gorgeous as Gail Gadot. But they go to the gala. Of course, men, of course, look at Diana, try to flirt with her, but she ignores them. She's the only man she loved was Steve, but I don't blame these other men for trying. And they're also flirting Kristen Wiig. Can't blame them. Maxwell sees her there. He seduces her, and eventually is able to go to the office and steal the Dreamstone for himself. Yeah. And while Diana's there, she ends up, this man confronts her. He says something like, "Don't try to be like you know me or something. You don't know me, so stay away from me." He says something that Steve says. She's like, and when she touches the guy's hand, she's like, she's even like Steve, and they hug, even share a kiss. Talk about Diana. We live in 1984 now. We're like living in 1984 now. And they just go, they look at the Capitol, they talk. Yeah, eventually they go home to this where this guy lives, and eventually, yeah, they do this. I know people say it's rape, but like, whatever. You know, I don't know where that guy is, but maybe his mind is somewhere else, or maybe he's just gone because Steve is in his body. So basically, she's not making love to the guy. And again, I don't care. I'm like, and if the man was there, let's just say he got lucky to get laid by Wonder Woman. Come on, guys. If you met Gal Gadot in real life, as beautiful as she is, wouldn't you want to get in bed with her? Don't tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And people say it's rape. No, it's not. It is Steve. He just looks different, Well, to her it's Steve. I know it's confusing, but I don't consider that rape. Yeah. But anyway, after that, he gets the dreamstone. He has the dreamstone. Max, Lord makes the wish. I wish to become you, and that happens. Simon Stagg, who was trying to take his business from him, he tricks him into wishing the former achieves success. Gets him arrested as well. His company succeeds in taking all this money from him. Uh, and he becomes successful. He even makes his system where she had more help, gets more people. His business starts booming. Uh, Diana and then they have to find out where the which dreamstone is. They learn about it. When Diana learns more about it, that could be dangerous, so they need to find it. So she goes to confront Barbara about it. And Barbara says, "Well, Maxwell took it. I thought it would be okay. I didn't think it was a big deal." I was like, "What is a big deal, Barbara? Why'd you let him take it? You can't let just a guy like that just take it. We need to keep these NSAs. He was like, well, get off my case, She's nothing to worry about. I was like, yeah, yeah. So they go to so Diana and Steve, they go into his office. They discover that he flew to Korea, another country, and they pursue him, learning that he's been obsessed with having it, and that he could potentially make some, even destroy the world with it. He's so bad. He's like, it's like you gotta imagine all these guys that have different ways of doing stuff that can be real dangerous, even life threatening. They investigate the stone further and discover that with every wish, something they value is taken away, and the only way to reverse it is to renounce the wish. Yeah. Um. But they go to Korea. He makes the sorry. This is making my do anything. He just says, "Hold my hand." You hold his hand, and you say, "Tell me, I wish, I wish." And basically, he makes this guy in Korea, this president there, whatever you want to call him. He wishes that it will a wall be built, and it happens. But he tries to take money for him, and Lord takes all his men, his own men. They take him out in the truck. Diane and them follow. She takes the guy with the caps. We're not stealing them, paid him for it. Quite a bit of money. She makes good money working at that museum. But like I said, Diana, investigates it as well about Maxwell Lord, finding out about him and investigating him. You know, I think he's suspicious of him at first, and suspicious of him, right? But anyway, they're in Korea. Sorry, going over my reviews. She goes, and the men they start shooting him in the trucks. She puts on a Wonder Woman costume, just runs real fast. You know, some good action. She takes the tires like the brakes are still working. Punches some guys, which is cool. And they try to shoot a gun at almost killing Steve, but she uses a lasso and grabs that bullet and tosses it somewhere else. And these two trucks are getting almost going to be like uses her feet, kicks it away, but she gets shot as well. And like I said, with that wish, the Paris team, when Diana starts losing her powers, she's basically bulletproof like Superman, but her powers start to fade away. That's what she loses. Start losing her powers. She gets shot. She's like, ugh. He's bleeding as well. Yeah, she's bleeding very badly. And she sees Maxwell Lord's like, Max, well, I need you to give me the dream stone. Like, you're looking at it. Doesn't notice what he's meaning at first. And even though he could have probably had that guy in the car wish her way, he doesn't, but they're about to hit these two kids on the truck. I mean, not on the truck. They're about to, Steve jumps on the truck and knocks these guys down. Some good action there. They're about to, run over these two kids. Wonder Woman saves them, but she falls in the lasso. These trucks, fly over. And thankfully, the big truck is Steve driving, and the kids are safe. He's like, stay off the road. He's like, Diana, you okay? She's like, ugh. He's checking her injury out. And they see what Maxwell's wishing, that it's going to get worse. And he begins to also grant more wishes in exchange for whatever he takes. Like, goes to the president, discovers the satellite broadcast system, makes a wish for it, and tells the president, is like, that Wonder Woman, I mean, Diana meets a guy, Diana and Steve, they meet a guy there. They have to go stop Maxwell. They basically run nuclear weapons. The Russians quickly discover this and they declare a nuclear war against the U.S. Diana Shepard attempts to stop war once again. They do work with this one guy to learn more about the wish, but Barbara refuses to give up her wish because they want to take down. So Barbara comes to confront her. You have that fight scene in the White House where she does get shot a couple times, but she does this like real cool kick. She punches these guys out, grabs Maxwell Lord. Maxwell, you need to come with me. You need to stop. You know, I can help you. Eventually, she shows up. And they have the fight scene between them in the White House. She pushes Steve and them away because she's nearly as strong as Diana, even getting more powerful. So as Wonder Woman is losing her abilities, her powers, and she's like trying to protect these guys that Barbara's like attacking them. Well, I forgot to mention there was before got the Dreamstone, Barbara working home. This man tries to assault her and even rape her, but Wonder Woman like Diana pushes him real hard, and she sees the guy again. The thing is though, Kristen Wiig's character, she's Barbara. She's really a sweet, kind, generous woman, but when she gets this wish, she talks to this homeless man. She gives him some food, just like all the time gives him food. She's so nice to him. She's just a very nice lady. But when she becomes this lady, she sees a guy that abuses her, grabs him, beats the crap out of him. The homeless man sees this, like, Barbara. He's like, "Why'd you do this?" And like, mind your own business. She becomes cruel and mean and a bitch. She becomes very mean and selfish. Her personality changes. It takes away basically this, which basically takes away her soul. It takes that kindness, and she becomes really cruel and mean. Even tries to hurt these man cops. She nearly beats them up and nearly almost kills them. She Diana tries to use the whole thing with the wrist like this, but she jumps there real fast. Leave the fight. It's like, I won't stop doing this. I will never renounce my wish. And then she is able to, knock Wonder Woman out. Yeah, perfectly fine. She literally powers like, and if you try to come near Maxwell, I will kill you both. You understand? And it's like, and he tells him, falling man in his wish, she's like, with his powers. Maxwell tells him, don't touch her. She's like, he couldn't if they tried. And I thought that was funny. But if she wants Diana to stay away, she'll kill her. They go on the plane. He's like, I thank you for that. I'm feeling generous. But do you have another wish you want? And she's like, I wish to be an apex predator, eventually becoming Cheetah. But they fly away. He's gonna go on the broadcast, people make people more wishes. He's going to gain more power. You know, at first, him and Diana talk about giving up the wish, but she doesn't want to listen to it at first. Like, well, why not this guy? No, you're the only man I want. You're the only man I've ever loved. He's like, you bring me joy, Steve. But eventually, he does have to convince Diana to give him up, to let him go. He's like, Diana, listen to me. I had a wonderful life. And you were part of that. You made my life great. You brought me joy in my life too. She's like, I don't want to lose you. I love you very much. You're the man of my dreams. You're the one meant for me. He's like, Diana, I always love you no matter what in your heart. And she's like, she starts crying. And she's like, what's like, I love you, Diana. Like, I love you too. She's like, I renounced my wish. And I really felt heartbroken for her, for Diana and Steve. But she had to let him go. The truth is, he is gone. And she had to let him go. She had to. She couldn't be selfish. She can't risk everybody else dying or losing the world. Maxwell does go on the broadcast, makes everybody commit these wishes. One guy even wishes this woman to be dead. He drops dead, and people are making wishes. One wishes, I wish I was famous. One says, I wish to be a king, and people are attacking. It's like the end of the world, basically. They're fighting, they're causing chaos and everything. Everything's just, the world's going crazy, gone mad. With nuclear war happening. And basically, she told Steve about the armor of Atrissa, who was a warrior that wore this suit. And Diana eventually grabs the suit. You know if you've seen the trailer that she wears the suit. It's in the trailer as well. It's not a spoiler. She gets her powers fully back. She goes to fly. Which her flying I thought was pretty cool. Just she's falling in the sky just like this, and then she's flying. And this cool is like when it's nighttime, she's using the lightning like kind of like ropes, like she's kind of like George of the Jungle or something. But that was cool to see Wonder Woman flying in the air. She gets the armor suit, goes to fight Maxwell's army as he's making these wishes. She fights the armies off, and then you see Cheetah, and honestly, Cheetah looked horrible in CGI. The fight, Cheetah attacks her. She's, Diana, pushes her back, just grabs off the wing. Just thought was cool. She's like, Barbara, what have you done? They fight. They're like swinging on the electric poles for just a little bit back and forth, they end up in the water. She's like, renounce your wish, Barbara. This isn't you. This isn't you. She's like, I won't do it. It's like, I'm sorry. She grabs this electricity pole. Doesn't kill her, just passes her out. I'm like, okay, I think electricity and water probably would kill her, but I guess because of her powers, it doesn't kill her. But, she passes out, you know, and has defeated her. And then she goes to confront Max. Well, Lord is like, I got more power. I want more power. I want more. And Diana can't do nothing to stop him because her powers are weakening. So she has to speak through her heart. She has to penetrate everybody's hearts. So he has to, Diana, Wonder Woman says, everybody, you have a good heart. The truth is special. The truth is love. And, the wish is not worth it. Be careful what you wish for. She gives a very good speech. And she's like, Max, go to your son. Go to your son. Realize his son's in danger. and he renounces the wish, and he's not the Dreamstone anymore. And like the moments he has with his son, he tells his son that he loves him. I just want you to love me. But I've always loved you, Dad. No matter what, I love you very much, Dad. I love you, Dad. And I thought that was a sad moment. It was his dad, and yeah, you know, not a villain anymore. But anyway, the Indian Hush Dad encounters the man who took over Steve's body, combining his outfit with Steve himself projected when they were practicing wearing, which I thought was funny. That scene was funny. Diana just finally seeing that the world was at peace, and she seems to be happy and at peace now. Uh, Barbara just goes back being her normal self. I don't know what happens to her afterwards. The film doesn't say that. Last time you see her, she's just looking at the sunset and not to cheat anymore. Yeah. Then, you have the film ends there. Then afterwards, Astro is revealed that she's living among mankind in a secret, just as Diana's been. And maybe they could have set it up for a sequel. I think that was the idea. That would have been cool if Linda Carter was in the sequel as well. Maybe they could have done something like that. But due to the film's failure at the box office and the box office disappointment of the film, that didn't happen, which I think sucks. And then, but that's the end of Wonder Woman 1984. And then, like a spoiler for the cameo scene, Linda Carter's like, I'm really just around and winks at the camera and then walks away. It was good to see her. And then that's the end of the film. I can't say goodbye. I can't say goodbye. You don't have to. I'm already gone. My father has skimmed the of the world. And how he did it. Did what? Made something invisible. But in 50 years, I've only done it once. Oh yeah, it's with the scene where I forgot to mention they're flying a plane. And she's like, I forgot to mention the radar. I was like, oh shit, Diane, you forgot to mention that. But she's like, makes it turn invisible, which is cool. And they go in the movie. They go through, as you can see here in the scene right here, this picture right here. They go through the scene of the 4th of July, the fireworks, which is really beautiful shotly. Probably the most beautiful scene I've ever seen. One of seen in a movie before. Well, one of some of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Were really good effects too with the fireworks. Oh, I don't have a TV. Well, I have a great relationship with Sears. I can get you a brand new TV by the end of the day. 19 inches, no strings attached. I'll stick to the one I don't have, but thank you. I've never wanted anything more, but he's gone. And the truth is, everything has a price. Oh, I'm not willing to pay. Not anymore. This world has a beautiful place just as it was. You cannot have it all. You can have the only truth. The truth is enough. The truth is beautiful. So look at this world and look at what you wish is causing. You must be a hero. You must be the hero. And I like that she can't really fight the end. She has to get everybody else to be the hero. You can save the day. Renounce your wish if you want to save this world. Why would I? When it's finally my turn. The world belongs to me. You can't stop me. I was talking to everyone else. Because you're not the only one who has suffered. Who wants more? Who wants them back? Who doesn't want to be free anymore? Are you alone, or frightened, or powerless? Because you're not the only one who imagined a world where everything was different, better, finally, a world that we're loved and seen them. But that is what causing you to see the truth. My life hasn't been what you think it is. We all have our struggles. Yeah, but anyway, that's what the question I'm going to read. That was a beautiful line dialogue there. With Diane, with Wonder Woman. But now let me give my final thoughts on this movie. Not a masterpiece of a film. Mm, far from it. But if I can talk, let me give my final opinion on this movie. First of all, I like Wonder Woman 1984, and that's the movie year takes place in. By the way, 19 in the 80s, 1984. So some people do dress weird. I do like when she's telling him the world. Chris Pine, Trevor Steve the world, like being on an escalator, but she's scared at first, or showing him trains the way they are now. Very different because they were like in the 40s when World War I think World War was like in the 40s, right? Yeah. But what I liked about it, I do think Patty Jenkins did a good job directing. The script was good as well. Uh, I do think the editing was good. The music was good when he did the Wonder Woman theme. It was good. The cinematography I thought was beautiful. I thought the cinematography was good. Richard Parson did the editing. He was good. The fight scenes, the action scenes are well shot. Like the first movie, it's a bit. And since that's not a producer, it is slow motion a bit in some scenes, but it's fine. I do wish we got Wonder Woman a little bit more action scenes. Um, before we get, I do first of all, I do think the film is well directed. I do like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think she does a great job in here. And Chris Pine, he does fine. He's good. I thought him and Gil had good chemistry. Kristen Wiig, Pedro Pascal, Robin Wright, Connie Nielsen for their Robin Wright, And so for their at least 15 seconds of screen time, they're good. Kristen Wiig, I thought, did a good job in this movie. And yeah, and the film can be entertaining. The humor works as well a lot in this movie. The humor does work. Now, let me get to my problems, and there's quite a bit of them. The film, I think, is way too long. It's 151 minutes long. It's over 231 minutes. You didn't need that. You could have trimmed some stuff down. Another problem I have, you didn't need, even though I like Pedro Pascal's Maxwell Lord, I believe he's also going to be Mr. Fantastic, right, in the new Fantastic Four movie, First Steps. Yeah, and Avengers Doomsday as well. Okay, yeah. I don't know how that's going to turn out, but you didn't need Maxwell Lord. Well, actually, no, I disagree. Maxwell Lord was a good villain in here. What I mean is, you probably just didn't need Cheetah. Cheetah felt like really forcing here. I could care more about Barbara. I get it. She's a woman that's being abused by men, but again, I've seen a character. She's wearing glasses. She's a very nerdy, geeky woman who envies Diana, wants to be like Diana, and she's basically just Jim Carrey from Batman Forever. They ripped that off a little bit, in my opinion, with the glasses on, being nerdy and geeky and awkward. Yeah, feeling like she's a nobody. I've seen this done before in Iron Man 3 as well, or The Amazing Spider-Man 2 as well. You're just copying Batman Forever, which turns 30 next month, by the way. I'm like, it's like all these movies, they really, these writers must have liked Batman Forever. Well, Jim Carrey's Riddler, they definitely copying what the character was in that movie. And I just thought Christopher was underused. And I hate what they did with Cheetah. Cheetah looked awful in the CGI. The fight scene her, the climax in there was awful. That's one climax I didn't like. I wish there was more action with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, you only get the suit and the climax. I wish we had more action with that. It was cool. I didn't mind them bringing Steve back. I like that. But I've seen movies that have wishes before. Like I said, Big. Uh, you know, You Wish, the Disney Channel movie I mentioned, some other movies as well, or Aladdin. You know, Disney movie Aladdin. I'm talking about the original. And I get the message: be careful what you wish for. But I've heard that message before. Maybe we didn't need the whole wishing thing. You could have had Maxwell getting power in a different way. It just kind of dragged the movie on a bit. The movie did have some pacing issues a little bit. Like I said, the humor works. The movie can be entertaining, but I do wish we saw more Wonder Woman more in action a little bit. Well, I like Wonder Woman Bloodlines a little bit. That was a bit more darker of a movie. It still has some humor in it, but it was a bit more darker. I thought the scene, and it was a lot shorter than this other 2009 movie or 2017 movie. Despite that, I hate the climax. The villains aren't bad. I do think Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal, they're really better than uh, the guy that played the British guy who played the God of War. I'm not gonna look at that. Yeah, I forget that villain in that first movie. Okay, okay. Ares, the God of War. Yeah, I don't like the actor in that. That climax was boring. I just didn't like the climax of her fighting Cheetah. Cheetah was just shoved in here. I think they could have gone the story with Barbara, just being what they could have done. Okay, here's what I would have done: Maxwell Lord, just have him be a bad businessman, or cut out the whole thing with his son, have him want extra power or something or money, and he figures he can get it by some artifact or whatever. Barbara goes to find it. They have some expedition. She sees a dagger, gets caught by it, or it puts the curse of Cheetah on it, and they could be trying to, I don't know, they could be trying to take over the world or something like that. And he could, instead of making a wish, and you could have more fights with Wonder Woman in action a little bit, you know, she could just, they don't just have to be Steve Trevor, it can be somebody else. You could have done a whole different story. You need to bring Steve Trevor. You need to bring him back. Chris Pine thought did all right, did a good job coming back here. He did good, but I think the film's problem is, it's just plot holes or plot threads or whatever. It's just a movie that's way too long. It's way too long of a movie, in my opinion. It does drag. Again, it's because, like I said, Avengers Endgame, they want to make superhero movies over 2 hours long, especially in live action. You don't need to do that. I'm not saying every superhero movie 2020s is like over 2 hours, but a lot of them are. I'm like, I think it's because Avengers Endgame that these movies take inspiration, so they think we need to make the film over 2 hours long. No, yeah. And there's some other words I can't really look for or find right now. But the film, like I said, is too long. Barbara character, they hit it a lot better. She's underused. She's a rip off Jim Carrey, in my opinion. Pedro Pascal was good. He was a bit silly, over the top, ridiculous in some of the scenes. He does kind of remind me of the villain in Superman 3 a little bit. Yeah. Or where he's trying to just be over the top or dancing at the time. Or just shouting, smiling at the camera. But the movie does have good action. It is entertaining. I just think it could have been better with the story. The story is not so great. The whole thing with the wishes, like I've seen it before. Other movies that have wishes and have done it better. I get it. Be careful what you wish for. You know, because the truth is, you really don't need it. You don't need to wish for wishing. I've learned a lesson in movies, other movies like that too. Like Aladdin, he has to learn to be himself. He has to be himself. Bedazzled, Brendan Fraser's character Elliot Richards. Elliot just has learned that wishing for stuff, life just doesn't work like that. Life is just doesn't work out by making wishes, by just wishing for things. It just doesn't work like that. I get it. Okay, why you wish like when Spencer Billis' character disappears, or not disappears, but the guy from Even Stevens, whatever. I'm like, I can't really think, but anyway, uh, you wish the Disney Channel away. He wishes his brother away, and he regrets that. And he misses his brother. It's about how his brother drove him crazy and all this stuff. He still loves his brother, and because of that, though, he does regret, doing that. Yes, I get it. I've seen other movies who wishes for are big, where he realizes even though he's happy that it's big and stuff, gets a girlfriend as well, Elizabeth Perkins. Tom Hanks movie Big. You don't need to make a wish to be happy. It doesn't make your life happy. Life just doesn't work that way. You just gotta accept who you are in your heart. It's who you are. That's what the movie I think Miss was getting on. This movie kind of beats me over the head with that. I'm like, okay, I get it. And the whole thing with the wishes, it just drags the movie on and on. And I wish Wonder Woman was in more action scenes. A lot more action scenes. Or sometimes it's we at the beginning we get the mall scene's good. Then it takes maybe like 30 minutes in, 40 minutes to see her action again, and another 40 minutes. Yeah. And I would have loved to seen her in the suit a little more. But despite that, I can still get enjoyment out. I like Gal Gadot's performance. She gives her heart out, especially the scene where she's convincing him that everybody else can be the hero. That even though I do like seeing Wonder Woman vulnerable. That she becomes vulnerable. That she can be vulnerable. That even a wish can enough to take her powers away, and it does. And she feels those consequences. So when she gets shot, yeah, you see Wonder Woman bleed and hurt and vulnerable. I like that. Yeah, but I wish they would have done a lot better with Cheetah. Cheetah was just shoved in here. Pedro Velasco, he's good, but he's a little over top in here. I just don't think. I mean, he works as a character, but I do feel like they could have done better. The script and the story I thought was a bit of a mess. I don't think you needed Zack Snyder producing it. Yeah, I think you didn't need. The film has three writers. You didn't need three writers on this film. You just needed a bad genius to write it, and that'd be it. Or Dave Killingham just do the writing. You know. But the cinematography is nice though. The film does. I love the cinematography. The action scenes are well shot. I love the opening in of the Themyscira, or with the Themyscira. That's a very well shot, beautiful scenes. And like I said, the scene where they're flying in the invisible plane, flying through the fireworks, that was very beautiful. Some beautiful shots I've ever seen before in a movie. But it needs a lot more work on the story. The story needs a lot of work. The story should have been done better. Take the whole wishing thing out and cut and trim it down. It did not need to be over 2 hours. I don't mind the film being like if it was 2 hours 17 minutes long or 2 hours 10 minutes long. I'd been fine with that. Everyone was just playing 2 hours. But you didn't need to make it 2 hours 31 minutes. The film drags. And I do have issues with the pacing. And plot threads, I guess people meaning that, sometimes I guess getting to point A, point B, point C with this movie takes time. And I get it. It's trying to tell a story. And be careful what you wish for. I get the message. It didn't piss me off like New Mutants, even though one thing I give New Mutants, at least it was shorter, but it still was boring and stuff, and I didn't care about the characters. Hey, at least I had a man and woman kissing here. At least it's a man and woman the way it should be, in my opinion. Yes, I'm sorry, but I think that way. But thank God, Barbara and Gail, Barbara and Diana didn't share a kiss one. No, don't want to see that. Don't need to see no woman. At least the movie's not woke. And it does have entertainment in it. It is also a very beautiful looking movie, too. The cinematography, the way the movie looks is very beautiful. I like the 80s style of it. It looks good. Yeah, it has some cheesy cornball moments, like when she throws that little girl to the bear and she's like, smile at Wonder Woman, and you know, and Wonder Woman was like, you know, I thought that was funny. a lot of the humor works as well, especially when Steve was trying on clothes. I thought that was hilarious. He's like wearing like a Michael Jackson, the moonwalk, doing the moonwalk just like Michael Jackson, but that was funny. And it's just that the movie, I do think it needs some improvement in my opinion, but overall, it's a fun movie. It's just a bit of a mess of a film in my opinion, but it could have been a lot better. Kind of reminds me, but I do kind of blame the studio. Maybe the studio just wanted to rush this movie out there a bit because they were so much, because again, like I said, Avengers Endgame, they want to say, let's make the film over 2 hours long because get that, they want to make it longer. Like, you don't need to do that. Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons, Justice League Dark Apollo's War, those DC animated movies, they were short and they were great and better movies than this. They had good stories. They were entertaining to watch more. And the bottom line is what I'm saying. Those stories for those two movies were really good and very intriguing. You need to have a balanced story. The story didn't feel balanced. The story does feel a bit of a mess. It's kind of just everywhere. But I guess going back to Barbara, but we don't see much of her. Then we go back to Pedro. Back to Maxwell Lord, and then one which it's a bit of the movie that's it's a lot. It's a bit of stuff going on in this movie. A little bit, but it doesn't distract me from enjoying it. I do find it entertaining. It just has those flaws I can bring down a bit. But despite that, I can still have fun with this movie regardless. I love Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. You know, so, Kristen Wiig did a good job as well. Despite the problems though, my rating for Wonder Woman 1984, I'm gonna give this film 4 to 5 stars. I still enjoy it, but those flaws do affect it a bit. I'm not gonna give it 3 because I do enjoy the movie. I just think it needs to. I just think it needs a lot more work, in my opinion. It should have, been better. But I still enjoy it for what it is. So take it for my opinion, but you want, and I'll give it a thumbs up too. Mild thumbs up. Yeah. But anyway, guys. So this was my last 2020 review. And let me know what you think of Wonder Woman 1984, guys. My favorite Wonder Woman is the 2009 anime movie. Then the second favorite will be the Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Then the 2017 film. And then this. If I had to rank the Wonder Woman movies from best to worst, I would say Wonder Woman 2009, Wonder Woman Bloodlines, Wonder Woman 2017, and Wonder Woman 1984. Probably my least favorite Wonder Woman movie, but I still like it though for what it is. Yeah, believe me, I can still watch it over Superman Lucas Peace. I can still watch it over Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and I can watch it over Justice League 2017. And now, guys, we're going to be getting to the year 2021, which I reviewed 3 movies that year was Batman: Soul of the Dragon, which I will share my DC reviews because that was actually the first 2021 movie. And I've reviewed Batman on Halloween Part 1 and Part 2, which you will see. It's very soon, the superhero reviews and DC reviews. But they are my Batman reviews, and I did share all my Superman anime reviews too. So on the superhero reviews playlist and DC reviews, you can check them out as well. But anyway, starting with the year 2021, another DCU movie. This time the director's cut. That is the 2021 superhero film. The director's cut of Just League. That will be for 2021 review. That will be Snack. Oh my god, I can't believe it comes. Zack Snyder's Justice League. This will be next. I don't know if I'll be able to tomorrow or more day, but I gotta be at work early, like 3:15 a.m. Tuesday morning. I'll check my schedule for. Hopefully, I'll be off though soon. And this time I'm off, I might be reviewing this movie. I doubt I'll be able to review it tonight. I could watch probably part of it tonight because yeah, there is a disc. I can't even barely speak. I'm so like I'm drunk. Disc one and disc two, which is basically the entire movie. And the movie's 214 minutes long. You have a disc one and disc one here and disc two, which is the whole movie. So it's like in different parts. But again, guys, don't be thinking I'll review this, but that's not just like this will be the first 2021 review. I mean, come on, I had to review it. But again, yeah. So, Snapshot Justice League. Stay tuned for this review. And again, my rating for Wonder Woman 1984 is a mild thumbs up and 4 out of 5 stars. So, guys, let me know what you think about Wonder Woman 1984. What do you think Gal Gadot's the character? Have you seen the TV show with Linda Carter? And how would you rank the Wonder Woman movies? The ones I mentioned: 2009 movie, 2017 film, Wonder Woman Bloodlines, and this film, Wonder Woman 1984. How would you rank them in your opinion? And do you like the character in the Justice League cartoon as well? Voiced by I think Susan Eisenberg, and she also voiced the character again in Justice League versus the Fatal Five. But yeah, who's your favorite Wonder Woman actress as well? Tell me in the comments down below, and stay tuned as we begin the 2020, we're starting with the year 2021 now, starting with Zack Snyder's Justice League coming up next. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Guys, remember, the truth is beautiful. So thanks for watching. Bye bye. I'm just being weird. Bye bye. Bye bye.